We keep calling it burnout, but burnout implies something temporary, a season of overwork. But what many of us are facing now isn't just individual fatigue. It's deeper and it's systemic. We're living through a sustained collective depletion, a kind of great exhaustion. And at the same time, we've been trained to keep going, no matter what. We're being conditioned to perform, to react, to defend, to stay digitally connected, but personally detached, and to just keep going. And the news cycles, they're relentless. The outrage is performative. Digital platforms promise us connection, but mostly just deliver more fear and distrust. Some of this exhaustion is personal. We're grieving people and relationships we've lost. We're experiencing systems that are failing us. We're holding uncertainty in our families, in our churches, and in our institutions. But much of it is structural. We're being formed daily by a digital and political environment that monetizes fear, rewards polarization, and slowly dissolves our trust in one another and even in ourselves. And so we are tired, but not only because we're overworked, but because we're spiritually and relationally starved. And the deeper truth, the one we rarely say, is this: what's being eroded isn't just our energy, it's our very capacity to love. Sociologist James Davidson Hunter calls this a culture of coercion. In this kind of culture, persuasion gives way to domination. And the goal isn't to understand, it's to win. And when winning becomes the primary posture, the habits that make love possible, curiosity, patience, vulnerability, they become irrelevant and maybe even dangerous. In a culture of coercion, we make a certain set of demands of people. You must think like me. You can stay, but only under my terms, or you just can't belong here anymore. That logic, it's everywhere. It's in politics and churches and institutions, and again, it's even in our families. And it's not something that just happens out there. Over time, we internalize this. We begin to believe that agreement, it's the price that we have to pay for a relationship. That love requires ideological alignment. If we can't fix someone, we either have to control them or cut them out. And maybe without realizing it, we've started to treat ourselves that way. We grow suspicious of our own tenderness. We become defensive about our doubt. We mistake self-protection for wisdom and exhaustion for apathy. But this isn't who we're meant to be. The Christian imagination offers a very different starting point. It doesn't deny pain or complexity. It doesn't flatten our differences. But it insists that even in a moment like this, and perhaps especially in a moment like this, love remains possible. Not sentimental love, not a nice, just agreeable love, but a love that begins by honoring the image of God in the other. Jesus didn't coerce people into belief. He didn't dominate the culture with a message of fear. He told stories. He paid attention. He asked real questions. He welcomed people who others had discarded. Jesus modeled a kind of courage, the courage to remain in the presence of difference. This courage is a slow work of spiritual resistance. And this is what I want to say, especially to those of you who are feeling exhausted. You are not imagining it. You are living in a moment that makes love feel impossible. But that impossible is right where the Holy Spirit begins renewal. If you want to recover the possibility of love, not as sentiment, but as action, we'll need the kind of courage that Jesus demonstrated. We'll need to train our attention to see others. We'll need to resist the drift towards certainty and control in favor of communion and care. That may not feel flashy, but it is profoundly countercultural. And it's exactly what this moment requires. If you're tired, you're not alone. If you're grieving, you're not broken. And if you're still hoping, however quietly, that love might be worth it, even now, even here, that is not weakness. That's courage. So let's begin again, not with certainty and control, but with attention. And in that attention, Let the Spirit do what the Spirit has always done. Hover over the chaos and begin to make all things new.